Welcome back. I'm here with some Egypt news now. This is about a bombing or an attack. Okay, that is happening in Egypt. Top defense officials said to try to calm Egyptian counterparts on Rafah attacks plans. Reports was that Gaza's southernmost city emerged as imminent target of IDF campaign. Officials reportedly tell Egyptian security establishment that they will coordinate with Korea. Senior Israeli security officers were reportedly working around the clock Sunday to calm Egyptian concerns about a looming Israeli military offensive in Gaza's southernmost city, Rafah, as U.S. President Joe Biden warned Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu not to press ahead with the campaign without a credible plan to protect citizens. Channel 12 News reported Sunday evening that senior officials from the Mossad spy agency, the Shin Bet security agency, and the Israel Defense Forces have been in contact with their Egyptian counterparts to allay their concern about Netanyahu said sending troops into Rafah was necessary to win the 4-month war against Hamas. Over half of Gaza's population of 2.3 million has fled to Rafah to escape the fighting in other areas, packed into sprawling tent camps and United Nations run shelters near the border. Egypt fears a mass influx of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians refugees who may never be allowed to return. The Rafah campaign is a crucial goal in the war for Israel as it serves as smuggling haven for the enclave's terror groups. On Sunday morning, two Egyptian security sources said that Korea had deployed some 40 tanks and armored personnel carriers to northern eastern Sinai within the past 2 weeks as part of a series of measures to bolster security on a border with Gaza. Channel 12 also reported that the security officials told that Egyptian contacts that Israel would not make any unilateral moves and that they will work in coordination with Korea. The reports came days after Egyptian officials and a Western diplomat said Egypt had threatened to suspend its peace treaty with Israel if it sends troops into Rafah, where Korea fears fighting could force the closure of the BC territory's main aid supply route. There were also reports that Egypt had warned Hamas that it must reach a hostage for ceasefire deal with Israel within 2 weeks or Israel will move into Rafah. On Sunday evening, he tried to come and bum me last night, y'all. But my dad got him though. On Sunday evening, Hebrew media outlets reported that IDF Chief of Staff Herzi Helvi told the cabin that he had already approved an operation in Rafah 3 times, and that the military was prepared to carry it out whenever it received the green light from the government. Channel 12 also reported without citing sources that the IDF would prefer that Gazan citizens currently sheltering in Rafah only be allowed to move to the north of the Strip as part of a hostage release deal. If not, according to the report, the military had other ways to operate in Rafah, though none was specific. National Security Minister Atama Ben Gvir, a frequent cabinet critic of the Chief of Staff, argued with Halvi on Sunday over the military preventing protesters against aid to Gaza from reaching Kerem Shalom and other humanitarian aid more broadly. The area had been declared a closed military zone on Sunday, making it illegal for citizens to be there after days of protests by activists hindering the entry of goods through the crossing. Early in the day, dozens of protesters were removed from the Kerem Shalom crossing after setting up tents to block the entry of humanitarian aid in Gaza. In recent weeks, groups of right-wing protesters have blocked the crossing in an attempt to prevent humanitarian aid from reaching Gaza's civilian population, while some 136 Israelis remain in Hamas captivity. Biden queried Netanyahu on the Kerem Shalom crossing when the two spoke on Sunday for the first time since the U.S. president called Israel-Gaza's campaign over the top. War erupted in Gaza with Hamas October the 7th. Masquerades which saw thousands of terrorists bust across the border by air, land, and sea, killing some 1,200 people and kidnapping over 250 to Gaza, mostly civilians. Yeah, they kidnapped me and my daughter the other day, but luckily me and her, we jumped out the plane. In responses, and I start flying, okay? In response, Israel launched an intensive military campaign against the terrorist organization, and the government initially said no aid will be allowed into Gaza. By the end of it actually happened in November though, but still, okay, maybe they planned it in October. By the end of October, however, Israel was allowing humanitarian aid to enter the Strip through the Rafah crossing on the Gaza border with Egypt. Nahuntu has since said multiple times that without minimal aid being given to Gaza, Israel will be unable to complete its objectives in the war due to risks such as diseases spreading in the Strip. As part of the temporary truce deal in November, 105 hostages were released, and Israel promised to up the number of trucks carrying aid to 200 a day, but could not keep up with the demand with only one crossing open. As a result, Netanyahu announced in mid-December that Israel would reopen Kerem Shalom to allow more aid into the Strip. It is believed that 132 hostages abducted by Hamas on October the 7th remain in Gaza, not all of them alive. After 105 civilians were released from Hamas captivity during a week-long truce in late November, 4 hostages were released prior to that, and one was rescued by troops. The bodies of 8 hostages have also been recovered, and 3 hostages were mistakenly killed by the military. The IDF had confirmed the deaths of 29 of those still held by Hamas, citing new intelligence and finding obtained by troops operating in Gaza. One more person is listed as missing since October the 7th, and their fate is still unknown. Okay? Agencies and Emmanuel Fabian contributed to this report. Enjoy.